first off, do you guys want to introduce yourself and say who you are?
Sure, I'm Steven from Echo Movement.
I'm his brother Dave from Echo Movement.
How do you describe your music?
Well, you could fit us into genres or you could fit us into message. I mean, I like our people. Our fans are a lot like us. We a message of positivity, something in the vein of John Lennon, Bob Marley. Our music, genre-wise, I guess you could put us in. Dave, what kind of descriptions would you give our genre? Because we've been all over the place lately, but we definitely have like a distinctive vibe. But like we have a hard time when it comes to genre. We're absolutely reggae and roots. There's a little bit of rock there, but we're very different.
There, a little bit of a lot of improvisational material. We like to play our instruments.
Nice.
That's what we are. We're at the end of the day, we're musicians. We like to play our music, our craft, and that's what gets us off.
Yeah. What got you interested in the music business in the first place?
We were little kids. We were little kids when we first started, when we first introduced to instruments. Our parents musicians. Growing up, we had a lot of friends that were musicians, and we were a very musical household. All of our friends, all of my friends growing up were musicians. So like that seemed to be like when I made friends with somebody, it was like, oh, you play guitar? Oh, cool. I play drums this year, or I sing this year, or I play guitar this year. So yeah, I mean, yeah.
Sounds accurate.
It's kind of something that you're like drawn to naturally.
I would say I never really intended to be in the music business. I just intended to be in music, and then a shitload of business surrounded me.
Yeah.
So that's kind of the music came first, and the business very closely followed by a mere necessity of enablement.
Yes. What are some steps that can get you successful in the local music scene?
Steve, you'd be a really good person to answer that.
That is such a broad question. I'm almost afraid to answer it because I would almost be disingenuous.
Well, what do you think are like the main components, or maybe a few like major things?
I'll tell you what. If you're an artist starting out and you're starting to play out in small clubs around your home, I would absolutely try to open up for bands that are a lot like you. You have to sell tickets. You have to get people there. You have to get people involved. Be very mindful of your message as a musician and an artist, because that really is, I mean, that's really what you're doing.
Yeah.
So I mean, I feel like a lot of focus is on the business and not a lot on the message or the music, and you have to do both. You have to absolutely do both. So I don't want to get any more specific than that because I feel like
I think that's a good complete answer. What was it like when you first started making music and getting your music out there to people?
Early on, we would consider it experimental because we didn't approach it with the solidity and confidence that we have developed over the years. That type of development comes with musical wisdom and understanding how you work with your band. So at first, it was just me and Steve making the albums, playing all the instruments, and the arrangements weren't quite reflective of who we are. I would say that, yeah, the music wasn't quite reflective of who we were. It was very experimental, and as we started to focus in more and more, it became more and more clear who we were, and we began to get our musical identity.
Out of all of the accomplishments you've made as a band, what are you most proud of?
Being on the Vans Warped Tour 2012.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that in any facetious way. I mean that genuinely.
Was it kind of like unexpected to get like kind of this far? Because it's kind of a big step.
It was very earned. Like we worked really hard. In 2009, Kevin got us onto this tour to kind of try us out. He gets a lot of bands that he likes, and he puts them on Kevin Says stage or a couple other small. And that, I tell you, that is so huge.
Thing in the world.
It could not, because the music industry is not. They're very, 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 very closed, and it takes a while to get into some things. But Kevin is where he like grabs music from all these different areas and brings them into his camp.
Yeah.
And that it's very proactive, and it's the way it should be.
Yeah.
And that's Kevin Lyman. So like, yeah, we're proud to be a part of that.
Yeah.
Very proud. Yeah.
Yeah, because like when you look at music records and record labels, like there's always a specific type of music. Like it tends to be one kind of music for this label and one kind of music for another. But for Warped Tour, it's very diverse. You have a lot of different things.
Yeah.
And how has your experience been, since you guys are, you know, a specific type of music? Well, kind of, but then there's musicians on the other end of the spectrum with you guys. How do you feel about that? Like, how is the environment like that?
The environment, I mean, the environment is cool. The environment is whatever you make it.
Yeah.
You know, if you want to make a lot of friends, it's very easy. You just go up to someone and say, hey, you know, I saw you guys on stage today. I'm in this band, and let's rap or smoke a J, and it goes from there. You know, people aren't too territorial. You would think that would be the case, but there's not too much of a guard up. There are some bands that aren't very social, and they don't really come out all that much, and that's fine. I mean, to each his own, you know. But yeah, no. If you want to make friends, it's very easy.
Yeah.
Very easy on one tour.
I'm not sure I remember the question. Could you ask it again?
Like, how is the community vibe with having musicians that are on totally different sides of the spectrum as you? Like, do you guys get along? And
yeah, there's a camaraderie in music, and even if we have nothing else in common, at least we have music. And this is a music tour that's common ground enough for me, for us, for them, and so it's all good after that.
Do you have any advice for people who are trying to be successful in music? Like, I know you said hard work, but is there anything else in addition to that?
Me answering that would be like, would be saying that it's just, I mean, it really is. Oh, man, it's such a.
It's like giving advice on how to gamble or how to win the lottery. You know?
Yeah, it is hard work, but it's also being a good and true artist and offering something to the world, like a really cool message, something that nobody's thought of before, opening minds. An artist is supposed to inspire, and you're not supposed to be a celebrity or look cool and make a lot of money and stuff like that. The old starving artist lifestyle. I mean, a lot of bands on this tour are completely hungry and barely making it, and not taking a lot of showers. You know, paying bills.
Just manning up musically.
Yeah, just manning up musically and doing what it is. And doing what they have to do to play their music in front of people, you know, and that's hard, you know. So I would say, like, do that, and then start to.
And then worry about success.
Really,
it's secondary.
That's really. I mean, it's really. I hate to say that because we're all dying for a break of some sort financially. You know, all these bands are, everyone on tour. You know, but that's absolutely the way it should be. It's, you know, you gotta work hard.
Yeah.
Never lose sight of why you want to play music.
Exactly.
Do you want to play music because you want to play music, or do you want to play music with an ulterior motive? I mean, to each their own, but I play music to play music.
Yeah, for sure. The last one will be like a funny one. Would you rather be 3 feet tall or 8 feet tall?
I'll take the 8.
Tall.
Yeah,
definitely. I've always wanted a dunk.
Does your body stay proportional? I mean, like.
Yeah.
All right, then I'll go with the 8 feet, and I'll just be like a freak, and I'd go right into the porn industry.
Sounds like a pretty good business move.
Yeah. Thank you very much. Yeah. Do you have this capability?
No, I don't.
Okay.
But I would make a lot of money if I did, probably.
You probably would.
Yeah.
All right.
So you'd be like Rick Moranis in that movie where he like shrinks Honey, I Shrunk the Kids. Yeah. Or Honey, I Blew Up the Kids.
But he just made it up. He just, you know, he didn't do it right.
Yeah, he didn't.
Somebody needs to do it correctly.
Well, it's Rick Moranis, so he slips up a lot. Yeah.
I like that guy. I don't pick on him.
Well, he's brilliant. He's just, you know, that's just his personality. He's like the
or even his
stumbling genius.
Yeah, you're right. I appreciate Bill's character.
All right, well, thank you guys for meeting with me.
Pleasure to meet you, Chelsea.
Pleasure to meet you.
Reach out to us online.